Hi guys!
It's us again.
Meow.
Last week we did the most likely to tag. It was really fun and people seemed to respond to it really well, so we thought we'd make another one.
Yay!
So exciting. I thought that a cool one to do would be the husband tag, seeing as I really want you guys to get to know my husband a little better. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first question is, where did we meet?
When I was stationed in Korea, I was at the DMZ in Camp Boniface, and the closest town to us, or the base, is a little small farming village city thing called Munsan. Munsan is as far north you can go in South Korea before you hit the demilitarized zone.
The border with North Korea.
Yeah.
I was in Korea because I was teaching English there.
Yes.
Both of us had pretty much just arrived in Korea a couple of weeks prior to that.
And the one bar that everyone goes to, I just turned 21 by the way, so the one bar that everyone goes to, because the bartender spoke English, was called Pink Mom, and all foreigners typically gravitated toward there that were from the area at least. So one night, September 27th, I want to say.
Do you remember the actual day?
2013. I was sitting at the end of the bar with one of my friends, Benedetto, and we were just talking, and then in comes Tammy with some of her other friends, and then Jones, one of the other soldiers, I guess had met Tammy beforehand, and he said, oh hey, you know, then eventually Tammy comes over to the bar to get a drink, but because it was so packed, she had to go to the end of the bar where Benedetto and I were sitting. And then she was talking to Jones about something military related, and Benedetto butts into the conversation, correcting Jones, and Benedetto was wrong, so I butted into the conversation, and then that's how Tammy and I started talking. So we started talking, and I thought we hit it off pretty well.
We did. I was like all excited and having fun with my friends and everything.
Oh.
And but like one of the things that always happens in this bar is that people get up and dance, especially when it's a song everyone knows and whatever.
Okay,
so
hang on.
a song comes on and I'm like, let's go dance. And he's like, no. And he just flat out refuses to go dance with me.
No. Hold up.
That's true. That's true.
And I was like, oh, I'm really bad at dancing, because I am horrible at dancing, and I just in general am not comfortable dancing.
Okay.
So she goes to dance, and then the song finishes, and then she comes back over, and then we continue talking, and then...
Because I was nice, even though you just totally gave me back.
No, US soldiers in Korea have a curfew. We have to be back on base at 1 in the morning. So I was actually getting ready to leave, and then Tammy...
He makes a bigger deal about this than
I do make a bigger deal out of it. So Tammy was like, oh, you know, it was really nice hanging out with you. She asked, can I get your Kakao? And Kakao is a messaging app a lot of people in Korea use. And stupid me didn't ask for her number in return. So she had my contact info, I didn't have hers. So we say our goodbyes, go back onto base, and I'm sitting in my room thinking, man, I messed up. Because she had my info, I didn't have hers, and I was like, we hit it off, and I was so stupid, I didn't get her phone number or anything, I'm never gonna talk to her again. And then she messages me. I was like, oh my god, thank you. So
when was our first date and what did we do?
Our first date was literally the day after. So continuing on.
Neither of us were just over eager, definitely not.
And then we talked a little bit, messaging each other back and forth. So I had asked her, well, what are you doing next weekend? She's like, oh, I'm busy, I'm gonna be visiting a friend or something like that. So I was like, well, how about this Sunday? And she said, oh no, I'm busy, I'm doing something else. And I was like,
I had made quite a few friends by this time, so a lot of things going on.
I was like, oh. So in my head, I was like, she trying to blow me off, like what was happening? So I was like, okay, well, you know, what about tomorrow then? And she was like, yeah, I'm free tomorrow. So we meet in the city, we grab some dinner, and some of the common places people go to in Munsan are, we nicknamed it ourselves because we couldn't translate the Korean, but it was called either wood shack because indoors.
They had wooden panels on the outside of the restaurant.
And then green cow because there's a sign that was green and a picture of a cow on it.
They were both Korean barbecue restaurants, galbi restaurants, and that was obviously a super popular place for foreigners to eat.
We went to Green Cow and we ordered our food.
Well, just to explain Korean barbecue, you get the meat and they bring it to you raw, and then you basically have to cook it yourself. There's a little
grill
with coals
in the middle of the table.
In the middle of the table with a grill, and you grill your own meat at the table and you chop it up, and it's usually marinated.
So we get our food and like we're talking about like everything like you can think of, and we're talking so much that we actually burned a decent amount of our food. A lot of the food. Like at least half, if not more, of the food we ordered. I'm not gonna lie, I was hungry still.
I was starving.
I was so hungry. And I was like, hey, do you want some more food? She's like, do you want more food? I was like, no, I'm full, I'm fine. She's like, well, I'm fine too.
We were just being
polite.
Yeah, being polite.
And we decided, oh, well, what do you want to do now? It's like, well, how about we grab some drinks? So we go back to Pink Mong.
There's a lot of pink mong in pretty much all of our stories. And most answers to most questions are going to be pink mong. Yeah. It's a very small town.
Yes. And we just kept talking the entire time. And it gets closer and closer to curfew. I walk her to the cab stand, get her a cab, you know, send her off. What?
This is an unassuming, extremely important moment.
Oh, okay. Alright, so in my mind, okay, I don't know where I got it from, maybe old TV shows, movies or something. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, you don't kiss on the first date. You wait till the third date or something like that.
This is good. This is gentlemanly. I understand. It's a good thing. To me, we'd had this amazing date. We talked all night long. We'd literally just, there hadn't been a moment of like awkward silence or anything. We'd literally just been chatting back and forth about everything under the sun. We get to the end of the night and literally just nothing.
Okay,
I assumed that he would at least, even just like a peck on the cheek, something. I don't know. So in my mind, I'm like, well, is this guy even interested in me? He didn't even try to like even have a peck on the cheek.
Mind you, I wasn't really dating type. First real relationship here. So I didn't know the rules of it. I just thought, oh, you have to wait till the third.
Leading on from that, where was our first kiss and how did it go down? We didn't go on another official date for a while after that.
She broke my heart! So, okay, so after the first date, I thought everything went really well. And so we had been messaging each other back and forth. Yes, at the end of the workday, and I feel my phone vibrate. I see it's a message from Tammy. It's a novel that she texted me. So I was like, oh, well, you know, it's one of two things, good or bad. Bad. I got friend zoned. Pretty much. Friend zoned. It's like, hey, you're a really nice guy, but I'm seeing this other guy.
I had been on a date with another guy, and long story short, I had
crushed my soul.
I'm sorry.
But it's okay.
Obviously nothing serious went down with the other person, but I didn't want to lead Cody on or anything, you know, if there was anything with anybody else, obviously. So I was like, I think we should just be friends, because I also thought that, you know,
yes, because
I interested.
didn't make any moves
Yes.
towards her. Obviously, she didn't know how I felt about it at the time, and so I tried to play it off cool. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's fine, and I was devastated. But I would message her every now and then.
But we were still friends, and
yeah, we were
still
on friendlier
talked
terms.
quite a lot, and
yeah.
you still did sweet, really nice things for me, and continued to make an effort and everything, which was really nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happened in between, but to fast forward to answer the question, we eventually went on our second date. Tammy was obviously no longer seeing the other person, and so I hopped on that. And
It sounds terrible!
so
He asked me on another date. Translation.
yes.
To clarify.
And so we went on our second date, and this time I think we went to Wood Shack, the other Korean barbecue place.
Didn't burn our food this time.
Didn't burn our food this time, no. And once again, the night ended at Pink Mong. Moved our chairs closer, and we're all away from the general area where most people were.
There weren't that many people.
There weren't that many ways,
So we were kind of trying to hide in the behind. There was some chairs behind us, and we brought our chairs close, and they had high back, so we were sort of just, what is that word? What am I trying to say?
Blockading.
Yeah, ourselves away.
So we were talking, and as we were talking, I started moving closer. And then we were talking, and then eventually we were just quiet, and then we were staring at each other, and she was
Yes.
and then it was so awkward, because I knew that, like, what she wanted me to do, and I knew I wanted to kiss her too, but once again, due to just being inexperienced, I didn't know how to approach it. So I was just like, I was like this close to her.
And I was like waiting for it to happen.
Eventually, I kissed her. And then I eventually kissed her, and then she after we kissed,
I'm pretty sure I said something like, so how inexperienced exactly are you?
And then I told her I was inexperienced, and when I say inexperienced, like that was my first kiss from a girl. Like, yes,
From a girl?
You know what I mean.
From any person?
From any person. Like, yeah, you had a...
From a girl. Oh, do you want to tell me something?
Babe. No, I told her that was...
I love you. I love you.
And then I told her, oh, that was my first kiss. And she was like, no.
No, I just didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe it, but I mean, the kiss kind of proved it. What was your first impression of me? When you first met me and saw me the first night?
I was dressed like a complete bum, and then she comes up to me, and I'm like, wow. Because why would she come up to me to talk to me?
So what was your first impression of me?
Oh, very friendly, very beautiful and cute, and very outgoing, obviously, because she was always constantly dancing, she was, and all that. And
life of the party.
Yeah, pretty much. She was like, I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I could have swore when she went to dance, she was like in the middle of the group, and everyone was like following her. I don't know if it was just me.
It was just fun. It was a very fun environment.
So I just thought she was very outgoing. I was like, man, what am I gonna do?
You're so cute.
But luckily, I captivated her.
The next question is, when did each of us say I love you? And who said it first? Who said it first and when was it?
Oh, I remember exactly when I said it, and you were like, "Shut up!
No,
Don't say it! Shut up!"
You didn't. You didn't get to say it because I still.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was New Year's Eve. We were out with a whole bunch of our friends, a bunch of my friends, teacher friends mostly, and then 1 or 2 soldiers as well. I think. No, it was in Seoul in the main city. So we got a hostel to stay over, so we could, you know, stay out and ring in the new year. So we were all out at one of like the clubs that we really like to go to.
Thursday party!
Thursday party. And it was 11:30. This one.
Close to midnight.
This one.
Close.
Not a big drinker. And was basically he just gets really, really sleepy when he drinks. So pretty much New Year that year was rung in with him sitting on a chair falling asleep against me as we were all counting down the new year. So everyone's still out partying and I'm like, okay, let me get you back to the hostel. It was within walking distance of the club and I'll come back out and keep partying with my friends. I took him back to the hostel, I put him to bed, I get him water, get a snack to eat and everything. Yes. Tuck him up in bed and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back out now. This one is like, wait, I have to tell you something. And I knew, as soon as he said, I have to tell you something, I was like, no, I refuse. I was like, nope, keep quiet, don't do it.
Obviously, I was intoxicated at that point in time,
yeah.
And she didn't want me to say something that I didn't mean. But
I was like, you're gonna regret this tomorrow. Don't say it.
I, even in my drunken state, knew that I meant it. And because even the day after, I knew I wanted to say it.
We'd been in a relationship for 3 weeks. So I was like, no, this is not happening.
It was soon after though.
When did you know I was the one?
Pretty early on. So obviously I met Tammy and she was this amazing person. And we, you know, even just from the first date and like after she sent a long text, just the fact that I was so devastated. You know, obviously I had some pretty strong feelings for her. And then we started hanging out more and dating more because I wanted to spend all my time with Tammy. So like immediately after work, as soon as I could, I would get off work and go into town. It was very expensive seeing you all the time. So I probably thought that I'm going to marry this woman after she finally accepted the fact that we were dating. No, soon after. Like this was closer to maybe around Christmas.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but obviously I didn't want to scare you.
Christmas time?
Yeah. But
as for me, I had a lot of just stuff I had to work through to like get to that point to even think seriously about it because it was such a scary and just terrifying thing. It was a very complex situation because we're in South Korea. Cody's only going to be there for a year and then he was going to go back to, we have no idea. He's in the army, he could be sent back home to America or some other base somewhere else in the world. But I think the point I realized really, you know, this is the one, was probably just when we had to start talking seriously about what we were gonna do. He was leaving in August. Cody was very sure about what he wanted to happen and very clear in his mind, but for me, I was really scared and it was just a scary set of decisions that needed to be made because for Cody, he didn't really have any choice of where he was going to be. He was in the army, he was going to get placed where he was going to get placed, and that was it. So it was kind of all on me.
Yes.
Are we going to, 1, break up, 2, date long distance, or 3, am I going to move to be wherever he gets sent? So that was a huge decision, and I think when I had to start thinking about that, that's when it really hit me, because the rational decision was for us not to be together. It really was. It was such a complicated situation, and I mean, at the point in life that I was at, I wanted to be in Korea, save up a lot of money, pay off student loans, and then, you know, start my career, get on my career path. So it was very difficult for me, but I just couldn't consider breaking up with you. Like, and I've got to get emotional.
No.
I won't. Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to like even think about ending the relationship. Like, that just seemed like the worst thing in the world to me. Like, not having you in my life every day just seemed like the most horrible thing that could happen. So that's when I realized, okay, I'm sorry, I love you. I'm too emotional. Well, I think we'll end it there because this video is already going to be super long. We'll definitely do a part 2 because I have like 10 more questions I was supposed to ask in this, but we just talk way too much. I hope this was fun for you guys to hear a little bit of our backstory in case you didn't know all of it already. And I think we're gonna try and do this kind of thing pretty often, making videos and stuff, because it's really fun for us. And yeah, I hope it is fun for you guys too. So if you want, subscribe to my YouTube channel so whenever we put them up, you guys can see them. We love you guys.
Bye. La 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 la.
Oh God. Do anything in my teeth?
Yes.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, that's so romantic.
Excuse me.
That's like such a rom-com line.
Of course.
If you'll still have me.
Well, that's exactly how you said it.
Cutting that all out.
I was dressed as a bum. I'm not gonna lie. I was in sneakers. I still wear sneakers, but whatever. Sweatpants. I still wear sweatpants. It was getting a little colder in the days, and...
Okay, what's your impression of me? Not what were you wearing?
No, I'm going on...
OOTD!
No.
Next question, ma'am.
Next question.
Stop doing that with your foot because you're moving the camera.
I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's fine. Because like,
stay awake. And I'm like, you're literally falling asleep. He was on my side, latched around me.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.